Jerami Grant does not need to be traded by the Portland Trailblazers this offseason, and I'm here to tell you why. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Before we get into the video, please do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as most of you guys actually aren't subscribed to my channel, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so it would really mean a lot. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Jerami Grant is a controversial topic among Blazer fans. Some fans think that he must be traded at all costs, while other fans think he's a key piece to this team moving forward. But as for me, I'm somewhere in the middle. The Blazers traded for Jerami Grant on June 22nd, 2022. The Blazers gave up a 2025 first-round pick from Milwaukee and 2 second-round picks in exchange for him. So far, he has played 2 seasons for the Trailblazers, and in those 2 seasons, he has averaged over 20 points for the Blazers each season, while averaging 4.1 rebounds and 2.6 assists. He's been one of the Blazers' best players since they've traded Damian Lillard. But Jerami Grant is also 30 years old, and so he doesn't really fit the future of this rebuilding roster. But what is Jerami Grant's current fit on this team? Jerami Grant is 30 years old, and so he doesn't really fit well on this rebuilding roster. When the Blazers have hopes of competing one day, Jerami Grant won't be a part of that picture. And so most of you might be saying we might as well trade him now, right? But in my opinion, if there's no market out there for him, then there's no reason to move off of him. As the Blazers roster currently stands, there's no prospect or young player who Jerami Grant is starting or taking minutes over. As a couple weeks ago, the Blazers decided to draft Donovan Clingan 7th overall, as opposed to a young power forward who would be needing those minutes Jerami Grant is currently playing. And so if you don't have a player who needs those minutes, and if you take into account Jerami Grant's contract, which he signed a 5-year, $160 million contract last offseason, I don't think there's much trade value for him around the league. While I would agree that it would be nice to move off of Jerami Grant, if Joe Cronin isn't getting any compelling offers for him, then you may as well keep him one more year. I do think that by the time the trade deadline comes around in February, more teams are going to be in a win now mode and might just be a Jerami Grant piece away from contending. There has been rumors that the Blazers and Lakers have been in talks about Jerami Grant, but it sounds like the Lakers only want to give up 1 first-round pick for him, where the Blazers want at least 2 in return for Jerami Grant. And I do think that the Blazers roster is currently in a position where if you're not getting fair value for Jerami Grant, then you may as well hold on to him, as there's not a lot of benefit to move off of him for less. And so the next question I come to is, does he hurt the Blazers by being on this team? And if it's only for 1 more season, my answer would be no. While Jerami Grant is one of the Blazers' best players, he's not good enough to hurt their hopes of being a bottom lottery team this year, as I think that's where a lot of the concern comes from with fans. Now, just to make this clear, would it be nice if Jerami was traded? Definitely. But is it the end of the world if he isn't traded and is on the roster for 1 more season or until the trade deadline? Definitely not. I do believe that there's a level of value that Jerami Grant brings just by being on the team. And while I know veteran leadership is often overstated and overvalued by fans, I do think that there's some value to keep a guy like Jerami Grant on a young rebuilding team like the Blazers. And so if there's no market for Jerami Grant and there's not a young prospect who Jerami's taking minutes over, then why try and force a trade right now? As even though Jerami Grant's a good player, the Blazers were still one of the bottom lottery teams these last 2 seasons, as I think a lot of teams are hesitant to trade for him when there's 4 years of near max money on his contract. So there you have it. In conclusion, if there's no trade market for Jerami Grant and there's no young prospect trying to take minutes from him and teams aren't wanting to match salary, then I don't think there's any real reason to rush a trade for him. I would much rather hold on to him for 1 more season and get fair value for him, either at the trade deadline or next offseason. So what are your thoughts on Jerami Grant? Is he someone who needs to be traded, or would you not mind if he was on the roster 1 more season? I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to do so and check out my latest video. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until next time, I'll see you later.